Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk specifically about Star Wars, tabletop role-playing games, and Traveler, and how American cinema can vastly impact the value of a tabletop role-playing game. So here's my premise. I think that the value of Mongooses Traveler, the Traveler game. Traveler is the oldest science fiction tabletop role-playing game that's been around, that has consistently produced editions, and that has had so much strength as a tabletop role-playing game platform that it has its own national convention, which there is a national Traveler convention. It's been going for 10 or 20 years at least. And Traveler, really, when it comes to sci-fi, it is the oldest, most successful science fiction game that exists. And I would say, really, that exists and competes directly with the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game. So my supposition is that right now, the value of the Mongoose Traveler tabletop role-playing game has vastly increased, and is doing, and there's more value on the Mongoose Traveler game right now than there ever has been before, because the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game has lost significant ground. Okay, so why has the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game lost significant ground recently? Well, I'll tell you why. The Rise of Skywalker. Okay, so before the Rise of Skywalker dropped, we were in the middle of the sequel trilogy, right? So Star Wars has a trilogy, it has a prequel trilogy, and it has a sequel trilogy. Star Wars, again, when you want to talk about success in science fiction, nothing in the world, there's no science fiction property that has a trilogy, a prequel trilogy, and a sequel trilogy as an ongoing concern. There's none, right? So Star Wars has been unarguably successful, okay? But the Rise of Skywalker caused major problems and introduced dramatic problems into the into the Star Wars cinema ongoing concern, the whole Star Wars industry, the industry around Star Wars, right? And the reason why is, so you had The Force Awakens, people were like, oh, that was okay, but there were some problems, right? And then The Last Jedi came out, and people were like, there's a lot more problems, starting to get upset, right? And then, now, just to be clear, let me give you my history, right? I love Force Awakens, and I absolutely loved The Last Jedi. I love those films. I thought they were fantastic, right? But I was coming in under the idea that I understand this is a vehicle in motion, right? And this is a flying vehicle. And now we need to land this vehicle, right? And so I'm seeing your soaring, sweeping vistas while this whole, Force Awakens and Last Jedi are soaring majestically, right? And of course there's been some turbulence. I'll acknowledge that. But now you got to land it, right? And Rise of Skywalker, I don't think any true Star Wars fan, I think you'd be hard pressed to find any Star Wars fan who said the Rise of Skywalker was good, right? It was a mess. And what it told us is that this was all built on a great world. Star Wars is unarguably a great world. This was built with cool characters: Rey, Poe, Finn, right? Captain Phasma, Rose Tico, Chewbacca, right? Kylo Ren, Harrison Ford. There's just a lot of great characters in there, right? But the reality is, once we hit the Rise of Skywalker, we knew there was no planning at the beginning. This was not a finished story. This is being written as it's being done, and here's the issue. Palpatine, the idea that Palpatine was Rey's father was just pulled out of J.J. Abrams' butt, and it smelled. It was not good. It was just, honestly, it crashed and burned, and I don't think it's even debatable at this point, right? There's no one out there arguing that Rise of Skywalker is a good movie. People are like, oh, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's all go watch The Mandalorian, right? So Star Wars falls dramatically in respect. Star Wars falls dramatically in hope. Star Wars falls dramatically in prestige, right? And so the tabletop role-playing game that you're playing now is worse because of what happened in the cinema. And the reason why is when you go to get players, on even your existing players, they're like, oh, yeah, I used to like Star Wars, but now I don't know what to do with this hot mess that we're in the middle of, right? Are they going to retcon and just say that the third, are they going to redo the third movie? Are we going to get a Snyder cut? Right? Are we going to get a Snyder cut of that? And, let's actually put a sensible ending to this incredibly important trilogy? That would be great. But right now, Star Wars is just a mess, right? And that means that the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game is a mess, right? But, oh, look right over there. There's Traveler, the tabletop role-playing game. And guess what Traveler is? It's Star Wars without the baggage, right? You want to play a cool pilot who, can use the space guns on his freighter? Yeah, we got you. We got it. It's right here. And you don't have to deal with, everybody being able to fly the freighter. Rey's great at it, and Poe's great at it, and Chewbacca's great at it, right? You don't have to deal with any of that, right? And they're like, oh, hey, you want to play like a noble from a powerful planet? You want to be a prince or a princess? We got you covered. It's right here in Traveler, right? You want to be like a hairy space creature who's super strong and uses a bowcaster? Great, we got you covered. It's right here. It's in Traveler. You want a Jedi? No. Well, we're not gonna help you with that. Space mystics don't exist within Traveler. But guess what? Right? Space mystics don't exist in Star Wars, right? Last Jedi, they said it, right? And everybody's and by the end, you got Rey, who's the carrying forward the Force, and is the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine. Who's down for that, right? It's a mess, right? So the crash and burn of Star Wars FFG makes Mongoose Traveler far, far more valuable. That's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think I'm right? That the stock on Mongoose Traveler has gone up by 10, 20, 30%? Because the stock on Star Wars has gone down by 20, 40, 60%? I'd love to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.